What exactly are you representing by putting the Palestinian flag on your uniform? Especially, you didn't have it on there before October the 7th, did you? Now all of a sudden there's a conflict and Hamas is running Palestine pretty much, and most of these people support Hamas.
اللي لفتني انا بلباسك او الزي الرسمي حاطط علم فلسطين، يعني فاهمين كيف؟ فيك تحكي لنا شوي يعني ليش حاطط العلم؟ فيدباك من الزملاء تبعك.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. 80% off. March Madness bracket 80. 80% off. You're pretty much getting it. I'm losing money on this, but I love you guys anyway, and you've been so good to me, so I'm okay with doing that. All you got to do is go to the sales section, find your favorite product, put it in the cart. It's going to automatically give you the discount code. Also, check out the reviews. This is something I'm incredibly proud about. We have 17,000 reviews. All you got to do is look at it. 15,000 of them are 5-star reviews. Okay, let me go to Spice and Tea section. Here is the Spice and Tea section. Y'all got to get the Kahuna. If you don't get nothing else in your life, get some Kahuna. The bourbon chestnut herbal tea is one of my favorites as well. The maple bourbon jalapeno seasoning is one of my favorites. But let's go to the Kahuna, because that's the best seller right now. The Kahuna, my wife literally has Kahuna in her purse. She put it on my eggs every morning when she cook eggs. Incredible, incredible seasoning, okay? So get you some today, add it to the cart, like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notification anytime I go live, make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Islamification. This is what I want you guys to consider here. Let's go to the officer that had a Palestinian flag. Let me just say this right off the top. As a police officer, this is not, you're not on a tactical private security team. So to be displaying things that are biased is unacceptable on the uniform of a police officer. When I was a cop in Tucson, I wanted to wear a cross on my uniform to show that I love the Lord and that I'm a Christian. However, they refused to let me do that. And you know what? I understood why. Because as a law enforcement officer, you are not an autonomous person. You're working on behalf of the state as an impartial enforcer of the law. So that means you don't have no Black Lives Matter, you don't have no I'm a Republican, you don't have no Palestinian, African flag, Mexican flag, you name it, that ain't on your uniform. Because you ain't an individual when you put that uniform on. You're working on behalf of your municipality if you're a city cop, or the county if you're a sheriff, or working underneath the sheriff, you're a deputy. That's what it is. So when I see people that try to put their own flavor on the uniform, it throws up a red flag immediately, and especially if you got a Palestinian flag on your doggone uniform. So let's play the clip of what because he got confronted on it, wrote a clip.
إذا ممكن تعرفنا عن حالك؟
طبعا اسمي أديب كنيس. أنا أصلي من فلسطين، مواليد هاي البلد، وهي بشتغل بشرطة باترسون.
اللي لفتني انا بلباسك او الزي الرسمي حاطط علم فلسطين، يعني فاهمين كيف؟ فيك تحكي لنا شوي يعني ليش حاطط العلم؟ فيدباك من الزملاء تبعك لما شافوا هالعلم.
طبعا احنا بنمثل طبعا اصلنا، طبعا اهلي فلسطينيه، انا فلسطيني، بعشق بلدي كمان فلسطين.
فيك تحكي لنا قديش صار لك مع الشرطه بباترسون، وشو اللي خلاك يعني تنضم لشرطه باترسون؟
هلا انا داخل بالسنه الثالثه مع الشرطه، اللي خلاني انضم احنا عندنا جاليه عربيه كبيره.
نعم.
بدنا نشارك طبعا مع في الحكومه وفي هاي الشغلات في الدوائر مشان يطلع لنا اسم.
نعم.
يعني يصير لنا صوت بالولايات المتحده.
نعم.
والحمد لله هان باريسون يعني بيحترموا العرب، بيحترموا الميدل ايسترن كلهم، يعني بيلبوا لنا كثير طلبات، بيساعدونا كثير في اي حاجات زي هاي في باريسون بيلبوا لنا اياها. They make it possible.
كشرطة باترسون وكعرب تقريبا قديش في يعني عناصر من الشرطة بالعرب موجودين، ومن أي جنسيات أو باك جراوندز؟
في بحدود 15 شرطة عربية.
والله.
يعني فلسطينية، أردنية، كثير أحيان بصير في ناس ما بيعرفوا يحكوا إنجليزي، سو بيطلبوا على الشرطة بيحكي عربي. هلا الحلو برضه في الجالية العربية بصراحة ما عندنا كثير مشاكل. يعني ما بصير مشاكل كثير.
نعم.
فالشرطة بيحبوا بيحترموا العرب هون. لانه يعني مش متابعين مشاكل.
بتنصح اللي عم يحضرونا ينضموا للشرطه بشكل عام كعرب؟ دائما في خوف بيقولوا شرطه وما شرطه وهيك.
شوف يعني الحمد لله هي شغله كويسه كثير. خطوره في خطوره، بس يعني المستقبل كويس. واذا بدنا يعني نعمل اسم لحالنا لنفسنا هون، احنا مسمين هاي بلد مثلا is my country مثلا،
بلدنا مزبوط.
لازم نخدم فيها، لازم نشارك.
What exactly are you representing by putting the Palestinian flag on your uniform? Especially, you didn't have it on there before October the 7th, did you? Probably didn't. And now all of a sudden there's a conflict and Hamas is running Palestine pretty much, or what they would call Palestine. And most of these people support Hamas. You will not find a single one of them, if you talk to them long enough, that say that they don't support Hamas. I put my life on it. I have not been in a single debate with somebody that didn't have to admit that they support Hamas, that was supportive of Palestine, doing the protests and all of that. All right, so let's put this in perspective, okay? This gentleman, and you saw him say his name, I'm gonna call him Officer Adib. He's wearing that Hamas flag on his uniform. Now, obviously the community is concerned about bias, right? Palestinians believe that Israel is doing their people wrong. Can we all admit to that? That's what they believe. And a lot of times that comes with a level of hatred towards Jews. Now, do every Palestinian act it out, and does every Jew hate Palestinians? No. But you can see how people would be concerned that maybe these people are biased, because not only are you saying that you're Palestinian, you're also wearing a flag in this country to display your solidarity with Palestine or Palestinians. This is the problem that is arising, okay? And then also the department haven't said anything, haven't made a statement about it, haven't even did any discipline against this police officer. And one thing that I said at first, that, you know, before it ever started, is that the impartiality of a police officer is absolutely necessary. And it's probably one of the most important things to have faith in your police officers, that they're just enforcing the law without bias. And if you start wearing all kind of things that show your solidarity to different groups that do not pertain to the law, especially things that are not associated with the United States of America directly, then people are going to think that you're incredibly biased, okay? But the bigger conversation here is what's going on in this particular city, Patterson, New Jersey. If you look at the mayor, you look at the mayor's wife, and you will see that it looks like there's an attempt to recreate Palestine in this particular city. And the only reason I think to a certain degree that it is, I would say, troubling, is when you start seeing people who have a solidarity to a country that they don't believe in or that they don't live in, that is juxtaposed in many cases, in many ways, to the United States of America and its values. That's when it becomes a problem. So Mayor Andre Said referred to Patterson as the capital of Palestine and the fourth holiest city in the world. And his remarks have drawn a mixed reaction, with some celebrating the city's strong Palestinian heritage and others questioning its political implications. So I'm gonna go on to give you like just a quick demographic breakup of Patterson. A population of approximately 150,000 residents, and 30,000 of them are Muslims, which makes it one of the most significant centers for Islamic culture in the United States of America. The city also implements Islamic holidays that close the schools, and I don't know if it's called Halal food programs, which is obviously associated to Islam. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think that it would be an issue is if you could look around the world and look at what Islam stands for around the world in its totality. I'm not talking about Islam where everything is good. I'm talking about, look at, generally speaking, how Islam views everybody else. And I think a lot of people that live in America can't fully operate in the fullness of what Islam stands for, because you will go to prison. And I think that you want peace over here, and it's not tolerated to do anything else but be peaceful. But I just wonder, and I think people have a legitimate question, is if the control of Islam becomes big enough, will people begin to act out like they do in other countries? I don't think that it's enough for you to hate on your brother and sister that may be a Muslim, but I think it's a question that people have because you see a level of solidarity that supersedes their citizenship in the United States of America. And you look around the world and you say, well, what is the real objective here? What do people really think about Western civilization? What do people really think about Christianity? Let's just keep it real, y'all. We can't live in a bubble and lie to each other. What does Islam think about Christianity? It is an absolute abomination. To think that Jesus was God to a Muslim is the craziest and most abominable thing that a person can ever believe. And to think that Jesus was the last prophet, and that Muhammad was insignificant to a Muslim is one of the most offensive things that you could ever say to a Muslim person. It is against everything they believe religiously. And in many of these Muslim countries, you will get killed if you dare disrespect Muhammad like that. So when you see somebody in America that's pushing this agenda to have a solidarity, what do they really feel about you? And if they have an opportunity to take over a country, take over a city, and implement Sharia law and the things that they actually believe, what does that mean for Christians? And I'm not trying to hear the fearmonger. It's the same thing that happened to Christians. If Christians had a nation, well, no, Christians are a lot more tolerable than just about anybody. But Christians in a nation, do you think they're not going to push their Christian agenda? Do you think they're not going to try to recruit and make disciples of all nations like Jesus told us to do? I mean, you'll have a conflict in any religious sect. But in America, we're a Christian nation. And I don't care what nobody say. We're a Christian nation. It was founded on Christianity. We don't have the Quran quoted around it. We don't have Allah on our money and stuff. This is a Christian nation. And it should always be a Christian nation, to be quite honest. This should be the dominant religion, and everybody else have to peacefully exist underneath Christian, in my opinion, a Christian authority. It should not, we should not have people swearing in on the Quran and none of the other stuff. I don't believe in that. If you're a Muslim, just swear in. If you don't want to put your hand on that Bible. Allegedly, you believe the Bible anyway. All right. I think that's enough of me going off about this. I think it's wrong. I think it's counterproductive to have any indicia of support other than the United States flag on your uniform while operating as an impartial police officer. It's just that. As a Christian, you shouldn't put Christian stuff on there. You shouldn't put Israeli stuff on there. You shouldn't put, if you come from Kenya, you shouldn't put a Kenyan flag on your uniform. You shouldn't do none of that stuff as a cop.